Hello everyone. I've not put my microphone into the correct position, partially because I'm now concerned that there might be some sort of network maintenance that could interrupt. Hold on, 9 on the 30th. Okay, very good. It's tomorrow, not now. Anyway, I've been getting notifications about network maintenance, and I've been getting them for so long that when I got another one now, I was thinking, shit, I hope that's not happening now while I'm live. It is not, so I can rest easy. This room that I'm in immediately confused me when I joined it, because the interaction with Hunter began with a comment that made no sense to me. He must have thought that he had played with me just before. How he thought that, I've got no idea, but if I go to chat log and scroll up. So I joined the room, you can see the start of the conversation. And then he said, green one that we just fighted. And I'm just like, I haven't fought anything with you. But, yeah, what he meant was the green Naga Cougar. He wanted to hunt the green Naga Cougar. He then proceeded, after Tifa had joined the room, to post a low rank, not a low rank, but rather a high rank standard Naga Cougar, while saying this but green, which was problematic because that's a high rank quest and I don't want to do high rank quests. So there's that. Tifa responded to my request to do G rank by posting a double G rank green Naga Cougar. Hunter still has yet to join up on the quest, but to be honest, if he needs high rank, he may not be content with doing G rank. Furthermore, he is the room host, so at the end of the day, it is his decision as to whether or not we do G rank. So, yeah, things are up in the air at the moment. I don't know if this is going to be a good room, and if it's not a good room, that doesn't bode well for the live stream. The reason being that there are not many people playing at the moment. Friday evenings in Europe for some reason aren't as good as Saturday evenings. I don't know why. I mean, it should be just as busy as a Saturday evening, but it's not for some reason. Again, only 7 people on a Saturday evening at this time in my time zone. I can expect as many as 17 people, perhaps even more. So, yeah, I'm not really that impressed about it. It just means that I have less headroom for when things go wrong, less breathing space. You know, when I press pause on the video Twitch, it means I want to pause the video. Tifa is asking where Hunter is. Chernobyl has joined the room. If I get a sense for the fact that Hunter is being unresponsive, or perhaps unwilling to do G-rank quests, I will try to poach both Tifa and Chernobyl from this room and make my own, at which point we can proceed with the live stream without any possibility, well, perhaps there is still a possibility, but with reduced possibility of things going wrong. Ugh. I should mention that I was going to upload part 201 last night, but I couldn't because I was having issues downloading the VOD from Twitch. It's not really the sort of discussion that I would expand upon for various reasons. It's not especially interesting, but I thought I would mention for those watching now, wondering where that 201 has gone. At least in terms of YouTube, well, my intention was to have it uploaded by now, but it hasn't been uploaded, so there you go. Oh, never mind, that's not Hunter. What is he doing? I thought perhaps he was in the prep area, but no, he's standing here. And again, just a terrible loadout. I can't imagine why he wants to do green Naga Cougar. It must be to upgrade his weapon, but it's not the priority at this stage. I'd say his priority, well, it's hard to say. Is it more important to have a G-rank level weapon, or G-rank level armor? You really could go both ways on that, if you were to debate the point. But one thing that is beyond debate is the fact that this loadout is inappropriate for G-rank. And I suppose in his defense he was seeking to continue doing high rank stuff, and I suppose that does make it clear that he intends to upgrade his dual blades, but seriously. It's not a good loadout. I'll give this guy another... Oh, I may not even give him another minute. I was going to say, want me to just make a room? Because again, this guy is... Did he just move? I swear he just turned to the side. What's he doing? Is this his form of protest at the fact that I've asked to do G-Rank? Again, I stress that he hasn't said anything one way or the other about doing G-Rank hunts. So, I don't know if he is for or against. Alright, let's make this work. Come on, Chernobyl. This guy's about to get abandoned. And to be honest, I wouldn't do this under ordinary circumstances, but the fact that he wants to do high rank quests is putting me off. There's also the fact that he hasn't been around at all. Relaxed hunting, G-rank, tavern, done. Okay, hopefully this is a form of insurance for the rest of the live stream. I'm the room host. Hopefully we've got 2 hunters to start with. And yeah, I shouldn't have to worry about losing people. So Tifa is here, hopefully Chernobyl will follow. And we can actually start hunting properly, rather than having this hunter guy, confused as he is, standing around doing nothing. Alright, we've got our team together. There is an open spot for a 4th person should they wish to join. And I think we can start with whatever this guy wants to do. He may have his heart set on double green Nagakuga. And if that is the quest, then I don't mind. Alright, well. Hello, Peaberry, and thanks for stopping by. I do know that Tifa did suggest Silver Rathalos before. Apparently it's my turn. I don't think I have anything that I want to do. We've been over this before. I do need high rank Lagia Cruise materials, but obviously I made this room specifically with the intention of doing G-rank monsters. And with the intention of eliminating the possibility of doing high rank stuff. So yeah, we're not doing that. I don't want to do 3 Kurapeko. I mean, we could do 3 Giganox. That sounds like fun, actually. 3 Gigi. I've written. Can't really decide on where to put my mobile device.
That should be fine. Oh, goodness.
Alright. Giganox. Yeah, we'll go with the Elder Spear. What is it? No, it's the Babel Spear. Whatever it's called, doesn't matter. Lost Babel. I thought it might have been called the Elder Babel at some point. May have been, I don't know. It's hard to keep track. The word that remains the same throughout the upgrades is Babel, so... yeah. I think... tough gig, yes. Very funny. Alright. I feel much better about these circumstances and these arrangements. I think we will be able to get a decent live stream out of this group. By the looks of it, I do absolutely need to organize my inventory so that I'm ready to depart. Is there anything I'm missing? I will top up my cool drinks, not that I need them in this upcoming hunt, but just for the future. Lest I forget to do it later on. Well, you see, that word doesn't really mean anything, Nat, but if you think my voice sounds nice, then that's nice, thank you. The word ASMR is probably a perfect encapsulation of modern generations of people on the internet, essentially speaking in almost summarized terms. It's like, let's have a word mean many things because we are too lazy to think of other words to describe what we're hearing or what we're seeing or what we're experiencing. You know, you'll notice it with modern English on the internet. There are just words that people use that almost have no meaning. You know, these modern words. I'm not giving examples, but you should know what I mean. And they just don't particularly mean anything. It's like now the word ASMR is being used to refer to practically anything. And I don't understand it. I don't have an interest in the word or its use, but I see it in my YouTube recommended videos. I'm just seeing like these bizarre things like accidental ASMR, and it's just people, it's just totally random things. And I don't know who these people are that are going around almost acting as if they've just discovered the nature of sound and how it interacts on the surface of the earth, but it's fucking bizarre and I just don't understand it. Anyway, I don't know. I will happily struggle to catch up with the way or the direction that the world is moving in, quite frankly. Happy to exist outside of it. But yeah, if you consider my voice to be ASMR, then I guess I'll take it as a compliment, but it doesn't mean all that much to me. I think anything can sound like ASMR from what I understand. At least from what I understand the word to mean, if it means anything. What I will tell you is that my voice is certainly not atmospheric. There's nothing atmospheric about it. It's perhaps pleasant to the ear, but there's no atmosphere associated with it. But I don't know if that acronym refers to atmosphere or not. Doesn't matter. Really, it's beneath my dignity to even discuss that word. Anyway. The Lance is good fun with Giganox, and I've mentioned this before. Something about how the Giganox moves really encourages the use of Lance. It just naturally works very well. Particularly with counters, I find. Everything that Giganox does is very clearly telegraphed. And consequently, you can generally do Lance counters. Also, by nature, Giganox tries to keep as close to you as possible, which is very good for Lance's limited mobility. That aspect of it's probably not too good, though. Have to actually shield that. I'm just putting my microphone in a more comfortable position. Oh, thank you for that. I should mention that I typically have a glass of water on hand, but I don't this time around. After this hunt, I'll probably go and get one. I mean, I used to have, and it'll happen again in the future, I can imagine, but used to have an alcoholic beverage on hand each time, but yeah, taking a bit of a break from that. The only thing that I don't like about this particular setup with Giganox is that I do often hit the head, which unfortunately is very well protected when enraged. There you go. And the rear is the same, in terms of how armored it is. Foul venom gland. That really is an evocative term, and it actually makes you go, ooh, that sounds gross. Foul venom gland. I mean, we get it. It's supposed to be a disgusting monster, but I think I'll make that decision for myself. And I don't find Giganox to be especially disgusting. I find Kezu to be really off-putting, for a number of reasons. And also don't consider Kezu to be all that good of a monster in general, but I quite like Giganox. I think he's a very good monster. And a very interesting use of his skeleton. Which is essentially the flying wyvern skeleton. Or is that? No. Whatever Tigrex is. It's not a flying wyvern, it's something different. It is curious, though, that they have the Tigrex Nargacuga skeleton here in the form of Giganox, and yet Tigrex only appears in Portable 3rd among the 3rd gen games. Hello, bread users. I'm not sure what you mean when you say why no working, Nat. When you say things like that, it makes me think my stream goes down or something like that. Oh, I didn't notice the little bomb placed in there. You really do have some fucking nerve placing that tiny little bomb and then not detonating it on your own, just leaving it there for me to run into. I didn't notice it because, again, I don't have an eye for the small bombs. I'm used to seeing those big things. But, yeah, that definitely didn't help anyone in any way because, quite obviously, the damage from my lance, by way of multiple thrusts, is going to be far superior to that of a single explosion from a regular large barrel bomb. Barrel bomb. Can't fucking enunciate today. But seriously, that's just unhelpful in a lot of ways. I'm also not playing very well. That's alright. Can't always play perfectly, can I? Have to have an off day every now and again. Again, jeez. Of course, I don't recommend or endorse the use of hunting horn when there are only 3 hunters. I've been over this before, but I thought that I would mention that I do not support that weapon choice from Chernobyl at this stage. Oh, can we get it done? Come on, baby. Yeah, we've got a flinch, which is worth its weight in gold. The flinch is what keeps the monster here. Very good. I happily carve because I don't think I've got a whole lot of Giganox stuff. Giganox is not a monster that I fight all the time in this game. Regularly enough to maybe get close to having maximum materials in my box for the monster, but if I compare it to a monster that I definitely have max materials for, I have fought many less Giganoxes by comparison. Nat, trying to make sense of what you're saying is really a form of sport. I haven't developed the skill. I don't know if I ever will. But there is potential for competitive ways of enjoying it among people in the chat. Your mentioning of my set for soloing Abyssal Lagucruz is not... I mean, are you asking me what my recommendation for a good solo set would be? If you're asking that question, it would be the set that I typically use when hunting Abyssal Lagucruz, which is Dragon Elemental Light Bowgun. That's pretty much the best loadout for that monster. And as for without Hallowed, I don't know how Hallowed Gen Moran would fit into that. But anyway. Well, I can show you the set later on, but it's... yeah, it's just Dragon Light Bowgun. Rapid firing it with peak performance. Well, you say Tigrex is a flying wyvern, but perhaps the skeleton is not specific to that category of wyvern. I think that perhaps the type of wyvern doesn't dictate the skeleton. There may be different skeletons within that classification. I think, for example, the Rathalos Rathian skeleton is quite different, but I think they're still flying wyverns. I should be correct in saying that they are flying wyverns, so therefore, you know, different skeleton, same classification. I suppose that was my point of confusion. Well, yeah, you are right. Ukantor and Ukanlos are flying wyverns, and they do have the Tigrex skeleton, so... there you go. And I can't imagine Rathalos and Rathian being anything other than flying wyverns, so... that all makes sense to me. Hello, Palkia. Overall, pretty good hunt. I suppose as much as I do enjoy using Lance against Giganox, I don't so much enjoy bouncing off the face and the rear. I find that I have better success with this monster in high rank in Portable Third, and obviously in Tri, because the body is less armoured in high rank as compared to G rank. But there you go. Well, it seems I do have a lot of Giganox stuff. I'll just have to manage that properly. I may as well get these Lazarite jewels. Used to be called Lapis Lazuli jewels. And yet they had a yellow icon. Lapis Lazuli is not yellow, ladies and gentlemen, just to clarify. But that's referring to 2nd gen. I'd better not sit here complaining about 2nd gen's inconsistencies while playing 3rd gen. Oh, this person again. Tina has joined the room. The person with the almost unintelligible name. Or perhaps we could say illegible. Depends how you want to look at it. What was I doing? That's right. I'm going to sell what I've got. No, sell. Alright, that's at max. Alright, we can put the rest in our box. Please guild card, says Tifa. Okay. I'm not going to take yours, but I'll give everyone my guild card. That's fine. Tifa did send me his guild card before, but I don't really have the space for it. It's nothing personal. Alright. So Silver Rathalos is what we're doing next.
Hello,
Person whose name I will not repeat. It is Silver Rathalos. What would be fun? I think last time I used Elemental Light Bowgun, so I won't do that again. Oh yeah, this is the loadout that I use for solo Abyssal Lagukus, or if I were to solo him, this is what I would use. So we've got Attack Up Medium, Peak Performance, Bonus Shot, Element Attack Up, with the Illuminator, which is the ideal light bowgun for shooting dragon in this game, because it does indeed have very high raw attack, reloads quickly, and it rapid fires dragon shots. So... pretty good. Ideally, you don't want to lose any health when using this loadout. You can, and you'll still be dealing good damage, but your best damage is at 150 health, no health lost, with peak performance in effect. That's really going to make a lot of difference when soloing the monster. And use a frickin' long barrel on this light bowgun, because apparently I had neglected to do that for pretty much the entire time of using this set prior to, I think, the last 3 Ultimate recording that I did. Alright, so... fuck, what are we hunting again? It's Silver Rathalos. I might bring a rapid water bow. Seems that this is what I want. Okay. It is on very rare occasions when I bring out this bow. I don't remember the last time I brought it out on camera, but today is the day, because I'm in the mood to use rapid water. So there you go. I am on the lookout for... well, exchanger, but it's not looking good, so I'll just settle for this, perhaps. Yeah, feline blaster. Oh, I do love that lance. Ooh. How can you not love that lance? Look at that design. Absolutely beautiful. It has to be said that I had forgotten that that weapon existed in this game. I had completely forgotten. The reason being that it did not exist in Tri. That is actually a 3 ultimate exclusive Cedeus weapon. And to be honest, I don't know why I had opted in the past for the Plesioth Lance over that. I think the Plesioth Lance is still something that I use when I want to go for non-awakened lance, so I think it's about time I made that fucking Cedeus water lance. It looks really good. Very attractive. And just from looking at the stats that I saw on Tina there, seems like a perfectly viable choice. It's not just an attractive lance, it also functions quite well. I suppose aiming for the feet would be advisable. Am I dealing... oh, it's fairly balanced. 315 raw and 200 element. Yeah, I'm happy to aim for the feet. In other words, the regular shot damage weak point as opposed to the elemental weak point. Narrowly missed you there. Very narrowly. I don't really want to do arc shot if people are close to the monster. Generally a bad idea. Very close to hitting me, honestly. Oh, silly me. I actually want load up on this. There you go. So what was I shooting before? It must have been a lower level of rapid. Rapid level 2. See, it did look quite weak there. Sorry, I forgot that I needed load up on that. That's a lot more substantial. You can actually see it and feel it almost. Much better. I would have noticed if it were an entirely different arrow type, but yeah, that is going to be much better. And that was a rather satisfying greatsword charge from Chernobyl there. Of course, it does, I suppose, for lack of a better term, harm one's stamina a little more when using load up, but that's okay. The damage increases significant. We've gone from rapid level 2 on charge 3 to rapid level 5 on charge 4. The damage is almost incomparable. I'm getting nice flinches as a result. I don't actually have a definitive, or I've never been able to come to a definitive conclusion as to whether or not charge 3 or 4 is better. In the event that you have the exact same level of shot, or the exact same level of arrow on charge 3 and 4, which one ends up being better? Because obviously, charge level 4 deals more damage than charge level 3, that is a fact. But if it takes longer to charge your level 4 shot, are the DPS implications of using charge 3 over charge 4 under those circumstances actually better than going for the higher damage of charge level 4? I don't know. Because obviously you can shoot off more level 3 shots within a shorter space of time as compared to level 4. So again, if it were a case of, let's say for example, rapid level 4 on both charge level 4 and 3, I do wonder what would end up being better. I've never been able to choose which of the two I would prefer. I guess the higher DPS one, to be honest. If anything, I guess there's a freedom to go with whatever's more appropriate for the situation, because sometimes, for timing reasons, you do need to hold your charge, and if you're holding your charge, you'll end up at the max level anyway, so... Yeah, if you're holding your charge, I suppose, you'll just be dealing more damage on that level 4. Wow, you almost never see 2 consecutive fireballs like that. Very unusual. Look at that. Beautiful knockdown. Chernobyl's doing a bouncing upswing. He ate that fireball on my screen, but obviously not on his. Another flinch off the legs there. The rapid level 5 on charge 4 is demonstrably superior to what we were using before. Felt like I was gently spanking the monster before, but now I'm actually eviscerating it. I do have to have a look and see what the material or material requirements are for that lance that Tina is using. Would be a good thing to do. It's almost absurd that I've waited this long to make it, but I had completely forgotten about it because my understanding of what weapons were available was based on try. But there are some that are unique to this game. The bow was the one that I had in my mind, of the Cedeus weapons that exist here that didn't exist in Monster Hunter Tri. It is really bizarre though that a weapon type that did exist in Tri has a Cedeus weapon in this game that did not exist in Tri. That's bizarre to me. It obviously makes a lot of sense to introduce new Cedeus weapons in this game versus Tri, considering that there are weapon types present in this game that were not in Tri. But as far as having a lance for Cedeus in this game when there wasn't one in Tri, that's bizarre. That's very odd. Because I choose not to carve this monster, I guess I'm giving up the chance for mantles, but I don't especially need them. And I've got a lot of cosmic tickets too. Cosmic tickets aren't as good in this game versus, say, 4th gen and beyond, no doubt. But obvious and basic mantles such as Rathalos are acquirable through the use of cosmic tickets with the Veggie Elder. So yeah, I really don't think I need them. Or I don't need to carve just for the chance to get them. Quest complete. Didn't get much of anything. That's alright. Alright, let's have a look at that Cedeus lance. I may very well be able to craft it. That would be nice if I could. We'll find out. Got a lot of stuff in my gunner pouch. I think I'm still lacking talons, aren't I? I don't think I ever made them, to be honest. Or they disappeared somewhere down the line. Presumably because I just don't have the space for them in a gunner pouch where I need combo books and space to combine for shots. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, to be honest. I may have to make other changes instead to my gunner pouch. Like, for example, not always bringing antidotes. Maybe I'll have to dispose of them. Maybe dropping psychoserums as well. This is in the event that I want talons for power and armor in my gunner pouch. Which I honestly do. Hello, Atalant. Okay, so without worrying about my gunner pouch right now, I will check to see if the forging of the Cedeus Lance is something that I can achieve right now. It may be, it may not be. Let's see if it can be forged outright. I have a distinct feeling that it can't be, because if it can be, I can't imagine how I would have missed it for this long. Seriously? It's always been here and I just haven't noticed it? How bizarre is that? It's above Sharkbite, which is another possible water lance that one could use, but again, well, not again. I've mentioned it in the past, but it was a long time ago, so I won't say again. But it's funny you got the 3 main water lances of the game in a row here. But the water value being very high, unfortunately, does not counterbalance the lacking raw damage of this weapon. And I think the sharpness isn't so good either. I would like to use this, but I would have to get some crooked horns to be able to forge it. And I don't have them on hand at this time. Chernobyl left the room, didn't say goodbye, so be it. It is Tina's turn. We've got Tina and Tifa still. Room slot 3 is open. Ugh. What do we got? Not too bad. Dragon is an appropriate element to go with here. So I'll bring that. A fun dragon weapon. So I know the Sword and Shield and Gunlance of Stygian Zenogre are some Awakened Stygian weapons that I can use, but is there another one? You know what? I never use the Devil Joe Longsword with Awaken. Well, I never use it in general. I would never use it as a raw longsword, but I always forget about it. Always forget about it. So let's use it. It didn't have an Awaken requirement in Tri. In fact, none of the Devil Joe weapons in Tri had an Awaken requirement. Needless to say, there was no Awaken requirement in Portable Third because there was no Awaken skill. I suppose it's wrong to say requirement. In the event that you wanted element, it would be a requirement, but let's say there was no latent dragon element present in Tri and Portable Third. It was only in this game for Devil Joe where you did need Awaken for certain weapons. Namely the Longsword and the Greatsword. And also the lance, pretty much everything except, I believe, the dual blades. Wrath and Rancor still have innate dragon in this particular game. I think it was a desire to balance it out. Because I think the margin of difference in terms of effectiveness between Alatreon and Devil Joe was a little bit too small. At least in Tri. So they did try to change things up a little bit in this game, which was, I think, a refreshing change. Alright, Palkier's booting his Wii U to join. Do you mean that seriously? I had forgotten that you were playing this game. But if you are playing this game, then... I mean, you mentioned that you had Icon Start, apparently. Alright, well, I'm just concerned that someone might join in the meantime, but alright. I suppose I could politely ask them to leave. But yeah. With respect, you didn't need to twice tell me to start the quest. I did understand what you meant the first time. Alright. Starting with Volvidon. I don't think he's especially weak to Dragon, but this is a weapon that has good raw damage already. That's 963 raw damage on a longsword with a fair amount of purple sharpness. To be realistic, you wouldn't expect much more purple sharpness than this anyway, so... Oh, fuck off. Get a life. He actually went for a follow-up side check there. What a dickhead. So yeah, even though I do have Dragon Element, this is a fucking huge Volvidon. Look at the size of him. Has to be a Gold Crown large. I've never seen such a large Volvidon. You actually don't associate this monster with this size. It's simply not the case. He's gigantic. Could you imagine seeing a Lagombi this big, or a Arzuros this big? Like, what the fuck? Alright, he's taking a timeout. We'll just have to wait patiently for him to come back. Taking a timeout in the lava. But yeah, this is just absurd. I can't believe how big he is. Having a hard time actually keeping him in place for long enough for me to get a spirit combo out. But yeah, I suppose the Deviljho weapons are interesting in that they can, quite honestly, be used to great effect without any awaken whatsoever. But if you wanted to use them specifically against monsters that are weak to Dragon, you can slap on awaken and then you'll have an exceptionally effective weapon to use against the monster. Which is what I prefer to do. I never use it as a raw weapon because in my opinion there are technically better raw weapons to use outside of this. And furthermore, I would say that the existence of slime as a status makes a weapon like this not really appropriate to be used as a raw weapon. I don't think it's worthwhile. Is there a better raw longsword than this? Probably not, now that I think about it. But would a slime longsword be better? Yes. Considering how strong slime is in this game, absolutely. And of course the relevance of that point is that slime damage is non-elemental in the way that I look at it. Essentially, you're looking at something that's going to work irrespective of the monster's elemental weakness, which is what raw damage is all about. Can you stop? I'm really getting sick of this monster and how he moves. I just want him to stand still for a little while, which is probably an unreasonable desire. Well, glad he didn't finish off that attack. I think it's time to die, Volvidon. You may be quite large, but monster size influencing monster health is a myth. One that I certainly believed in the past, but yeah, it's not true. I'll stop it. Maybe it became true in later generations. I just remember as far back as 2nd gen thinking that that was true, and then confirming as far back as 2nd gen that it wasn't true. So maybe a change was made in later generations, I don't know. If you could stop rolling, like you're actually delaying the inevitable conclusion, which is not the failure of the team, but rather your death. Actually, it may be Mega Potions, and I do need some. Well, perhaps not need, but I do have space for 2 more. And I may as well get them. Fortunately, I'm not lacking in Mega Potions at this point. I was in a previous recording, but not in this one. So Rathalos should be next. Oh, okay. Apparently it's giving you an error code, but it doesn't mention what the error is. Okay. Not sure what could be causing that. My guess is that it is still network-related, Palkia. I can't imagine anything else. It's not like I've blocked you or something, so... yeah. I'm going to assume that there's some sort of network issue. Your ping would likely be too high if you were to join my room. Which is really unfortunate, because you've gone to the trouble to set up the Wii U to play, and then it won't let you in the room. It's very frustrating. This is some disgustingly heavy damage. Full spirit combo on this monster's face with this weapon with Awaken. I almost feel bad for the monster. It didn't end up being a full spirit combo, but still. There you go. There is a reason why he's already dead. It's because this weapon is very fucking strong against this monster. Tina is using a weapon that I think was only appropriate for 1 of 3 monsters, as opposed to my weapon, which is technically appropriate for all 3 of them because it has high raw, but is focused on 2 monsters. I don't know, maybe Volvidon was, or rather is, somewhat weak to water, but the primary weakness is definitely ice. I suppose it would make sense for the secondary weakness to be water, it's just I don't recall that being much of a weakness for Volvidon. Are we going to get an Area 6 or Area 7 spawn for this monster? I actually don't know. I think it's Portable 3rd where Uragan spawns in 6. I'm going to assume that 7 is the one that we want to stand in. Hopefully I'm right. Really? You couldn't even make your own room without getting the error code? How does that work? So what, you create your own room and then you can't connect to it? That's weird. I would actually encourage Googling that error code. I know it sounds like a... oh, of course. Why am I standing over here? This is the... wow. My head is not in the right place. This is the Agnaktor spawn area from Tri. The spawn areas are unchanged from Tri, you see. This is the Uragan spawn area. That's the Agnaktor one. But yeah, it may sound like a remote possibility that Googling that error code for 3 Ultimate would be helpful, but don't doubt the possibility that people have had this issue in the past and that there may be a solution. I'm going to assume that it has something to do with your Wii U network settings, because if you can't even connect to the Capcom servers in general, I'd say that's not to do with how you're connecting to other players, but something to do with your console's network settings or your internet in general. So there may be a solution. I'd say there wouldn't really be a solution if you were just having bad connectivity with other hunters, because in the end you can't really do much about that except to not hunt with those people. But by the sounds of it, there may be a solution relating to your Wii U settings. I haven't come across it before, but there are all sorts of network errors that one can get. So yeah, look into it. God damn it, man. I will try to get to the... Oh god, you're going to charge the weak point, are you? That's the lance special. It's the... My lance is more important than your ability to hit the monster, so I'm going to home in on the weak point with my lance charge and make it so that no one else can hit the weak point except for me. Because I'm very important. It's just a completely... I don't know, self-indulgent strategy that doesn't consider the possibility that maybe other people would seek to hit the weak point. But you know what, in the end, as the lance user, I suppose, if Tina were not to lance charge, I'd just be flinching them in place while we're both hitting the weak point. So it's one or the other, I guess. And technically speaking, Tina did have the better elemental damage than myself against this monster. But I'd say I would have balanced it out with my higher roll. Oh, a firewall related thing. Okay. So rather than it being a setting in the Wii U, it's actually to do with your internet, which is, yeah, a bit more realistic and more likely than it being in a Wii U setting. Because, you know, most people don't mess around in their console network settings for fun. They work out what works, then they leave it. I managed to get a Rathlow's Mantle, which is good. That's my 7th. Yeah, I'm really not in need of mantles, as you can tell. So I did this quest, which is very high HRP, and also did the previous Silver Rathlow's quest, which is reasonable HRP. Still haven't ranked up, so yeah, it's very different to later games as far as the rank up. I've still got a requirement of 4,972 HRP to rank up again, so yeah, it's slow going. Again, my objective in this game is not to rank up necessarily, it's just to enjoy playing it. Because if your objective was to rank up, you'd be probably very frustrated at this point, because it is a slow process. Tavo Show has made it in. Hello, man. Oh, Yurli's playing. That's funny. I wonder why did Yurli not join up in my room? Maybe it was full at the time. That's possible. Generally speaking, I'd much prefer to play with Yurli, Tavo Show, and myself than Tifa and Tina, but if Yurli wasn't able to join at the time, then that's just unfortunate. Again, Yurli is a friend of mine from Hunsterverse, actually, and we do play this game together from time to time. And we do actually meet up just randomly in this game. As far as James making a room, that's not unusual. The standard hosts, Link and James, are around. Or at least Link did have a room going before, so... it was Tina's turn before, so I guess it's my turn now. Let's have a look. I feel like I've done this quest a lot of times recently, so I won't do it now. That looks like fun. We'll do that. Oh, Tifa's leaving, apparently. I'd love it if Yurli joined. But you see, I'm not in a position where I can just leave the room and check because I'm the room host. The entire room will collapse. I'm going to tell Yurli to come. I'm going to message him on Discord. Keyboard's in a very awkward spot. This is my PC keyboard, not my in-game keyboard. Hold on. Is he on my friends list? I don't think he is. I don't think I'd be able to short message him. Yuli. No. Yuli is not in my friends list. If he was, I'd be able to short message him in game, but I can't. I don't know, it's up to him if he wants to join. Mark has joined the room. Makes it a bit harder, but anyway. Sorry, what did I decide on? Yeah, that's right. Lagombi. Jade Baroth and Barry. There we go. Mark is Hunter Rank 999. Okay. There's no one in this room, to be honest, that I would want to remove. Tina technically would be the one that I'd be most inclined to remove, but I have no reason to do that. I've sent Newly a message offering for him to join this room, but at this stage he can't. I'd like to play with him, but I don't want to close this room, and yeah. It's a conundrum. I'll probably bring a... Yeah, I'll definitely bring a fire weapon, but I'll specifically bring a Morales weapon. Perhaps, let's have a look and see if the Apocalypso will be an appropriate choice. Whether or not this hunting horn is good to use entirely depends on the team. Because rather than raw attack increase, you get an elemental attack boost from this horn. So, if people aren't using elemental weapons, it's pointless. I can already see that Tarbo's using paralysis, so under those circumstances, I will go with something different. Because Tarbo's technically running support with paralysis, I will not also use a hunting horn. I'll go for damage. You've also been able to work out that James has serious ego problems. This is why he's a room host. He can't possibly join another room and then suffer the host of another person. He has to be the one in control because he is socially inept. So you have to play by his rules, otherwise it's not going to work at all. What Morales weapon would I like to use? Probably one that I don't often use. Let's go with Hammer for a change, hey? Now, of course, I don't know if I want to use the Antiphon. This is generally the better choice, what I have highlighted here. Fuck. Let's just go with this. Just for something a little different. I'm partially concerned that I'll have to sharpen too often with this thing, but I guess the solution would be to not do the spinning golf swing. If I do the spinning golf swing with this, there's going to be a problem. I'm going to run out of purple sharpness almost immediately. Silver Slayers. Mark is one of those people who uses the Devil Joe Greatsword as a raw greatsword. I don't know what it is about this community really taking a shine to the Devil Joe Greatsword over the Diablo's Greatsword when it comes to raw damage. I'm not sure what that is. Because to me, the Diablo's Greatsword is irrefutably better. Provided you've got Sharpness +1, the Diablo's Greatsword, that is to say the Serra Symmetry, is just a better weapon, but no one uses it. It's strange. I don't know why that is. I can see that the Devil Joe Greatsword's easier to use, but this guy's Hunter Rank 999. He should have plenty of materials at his disposal to forge whatever the hell he wants. So, what's that about? I've got no fucking idea. Anyway. We're starting with Lagombi. Tina has already lost a lot of health. I was not keeping track of that. Did you get unlucky, Cat, or what? Anyway. Could be running adrenaline. Not a bad hunt to do it in. Oh, here we go. Just when I was saying that the head might not be a good option. This is a tiny Lagombi. I mean, after that Volvidon, really, this is immensely small. The head is actually so small that it's difficult to get consistent KO hits off on it. You can see that I'm actually hitting the ears instead of the face on many impacts. I'll try to do a bit of hammer in this recording. I know I don't do hammer enough, so I'll try to actually use the weapon type a bit more. Lagombi was actually going to do a forward motion, but it was cancelled by Mark's flinch. Would have been a nice way to kill the monster, you have to admit. Well, there you go. I will top up my sharpness. I don't know what the hell Tina's doing. It'd be nice if you contributed and participated in the hunt. I don't know. So, Jade Baroth is next. I think... I could be wrong, but I think Jade Baroth spawns over here. Or it could be here. Fuck. Is it area 4 or in that area over there? The fact that Mark and Tavo are staying there suggests to me that it's probably going to spawn here. Fine. If I upswung Mark, he'd probably leave the room. Just putting it out there. That's what Hunt Rank 999s are like in these games. They're mentally unstable. I'll upswing Tina. That's your punishment for not actually joining up on the hunt. And this is a big Baroth, one that I can't really hit the face of very well, but shockingly, he's already on the ground. Oh, for goodness sake, are you really going to make me waste sharpness on you, you bullfango piece of shit? Suppose it was only one hit. But yeah, this is a big Baroth, which means that hitting the head is not going to be as easy. I think I can upswing the chin, but I'm not happy about it. I'd like to get you in a trap, and I shall. May as well drop a bomb. I will detonate it as best I can. Can I upswing the chin? Well, I may be able to, but you see... Ugh. That's one of the things that plagues hammer users. It's when the head is too high up because the monster's too big to actually be able to hit the fucking thing. How frustrating is that? Might be able to get a turnaround, come on. No, I may have been able to, but he got flinched just as he was going to turn. Oh my god. Let's see if I can reach the head with a golf swing. No, I can't time my golf swing properly. I'm going with second gen timing rather than third. Alright, so the head can be reached with that. I hate this. Whatever. Yeah, it is Mega Potions. Okay. I don't think I had verbally questioned that, but I did in my head. Wonder if it was going to be Mega Potions or not. One monster left. Well, I'm not in need of Mega Potions. I think Barioth spawns somewhere different in this quest. I think Barioth actually spawns in this main area. I've got a feeling. I could be entirely wrong, but I have a feeling. I'm going to bank on this. I know it sounds weird. I know it's against all earthly logic, but I'm pretty sure I've done this quest before, and Barroth did not spawn in his typical Area 6 location. And I don't think I'm wrong about that. But to have both Mark and Tarbo show heading over there, and Tarbo placing a trap, really does cause me to second guess myself. Well, alright. I'm going to assume that they're correct on this one. We've got 2 traps down. I mean, they're really expecting the monster to drop there, so they must be right. Unquestioning expectation of the monster spawning there. Yep, it's there. Fuck. Oh well. I do have a distinct recollection of the monster spawning in that area for some multi-quest. I don't know which one it would have been, but apparently it wasn't this one. Hello, A-Gaming. Don't know how we managed to get 2 traps down with both of them failing to reach the monster on the spawn point, but I will admit that the... whatever it's called. Why can't I get my timing for my goal swing? What's wrong with me? I really have forgotten the timing. I used to be, like, it used to be a case where I'd just know. Maybe some people count the spins, I just knew because you get used to it, right? But, seriously, that never used to be an issue for me, but the slight change in timing in 1st and 2nd gen has messed with my head. My muscle memory is confused. You have to hold it for just a little bit longer in 3rd gen versus 1st and 2nd. Particularly in the case of 1st, because generally you've got, well, at least in the case of Freedom 1, you do have input detection issues to negotiate. Thanks for letting me know, A-Gaming. Well, that was a fairly quick hunt. I didn't really get to use this hammer all that much, and I technically didn't drop below purple sharpness. On my screen you should have actually been able to... I see you were doing a counterattack. I'll just miss both of you, that's fine. God, my arms. Just had to stretch them a bit. Got a gourmet voucher out of that. Yeah, I had a feeling. That is my smallest Lagombi that I've engaged. And that is the largest Jade Barroth I've fought as well. Look at the size of him. Giant bastard. What are the chances of getting 2 crowns in one hunt? And to have them be bigger and smaller than anything you've fought before, despite having both crowns. That's a golden hunt. Golden quest. I'm a bit worried. A bit concerned. Yurley said that he would like to join, and that he's on a quest, but I don't know if he can. God, what should I do? I don't want to remove Tina from the room. It doesn't feel right. There's no reason why I should deny Tina the opportunity to play in this room, so I'm just going to tell Yurley that the room's full and, yeah. Anyway. It is what it is. Mark can post. What I was going to say, I didn't actually get to express my thought fully. In fact, I basically didn't express it at all. I am concerned that Mark might post some garbage arena quest because he's Hunter Rank 999 and probably can only enjoy the game when doing those quests. I actually find them to be the least enjoyable, but whatever. He thanked me for letting him post. I don't know what he's going to post, but there's at least a 90% chance that he's going to post an arena quest. You watch. Not like literally an arena quest, but a quest that takes place in the arena, yes. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be some multi-monster quest. In that desperately boring sand pit of a location. My hair is being unruly. Oh no, I think that might actually be... What is that quest? Uragan Agnaktor Azur Rathlos. Is that a volcano multi-hunt? Must be. I don't remember it clearly, but... Yeah. Anyway, that is a dragon elemental quest. Well, that is the ideal element for that quest anyway. And I will bring a hammer. Happy to do that. I generally don't enjoy using hammer against Agnaktor, but that's alright. I'll live with that. This hammer works well with this set because I don't have sharpness +1 on it, so happy to use this weapon. Very happy to use it. A burnt offering. Yes, I do remember this quest now. Well, he proved me wrong, but I did say there was a 10% chance that he would post something that wasn't in the arena. So in the end, perhaps we could say I wasn't proved wrong. I don't really enjoy the idea of hammering alongside Tavo. I'm sure we have... What is he doing? I suppose he's going for pure skills over defense with this loadout. And by the looks of it, it's very good for water. I won't deny that, but... Yeah, and he's also worked out that he doesn't need anything better than earplugs for this quest, which surprises me. I actually would have thought at least maybe the Agnaktor would require high-grade earplugs, or at least rock steady. Yeah. I wouldn't have chosen a water weapon for these monsters, for the reason that Azur Rathalos doesn't take much, if any, damage from water. But they all take pretty reasonable dragon damage, so... Don't know. I'm quite happy with my loadout, quite frankly. Sounds good, gaming, but I don't really like eating chicken wings myself. I don't like gnawing flesh off the bone like a fucking Neanderthal, you know? It's not really my gig. I don't know, like I'm not actually criticizing people who enjoy eating chicken off the bone, it's just not my thing. And I don't like fried chicken in general, I should say. Got a trap going down. Yeah, well, if it's a pitfall, well, that's fine. Get in that there trap. By the looks of it, Tavo Show actually doesn't have purple sharpness on that hammer. But because I do, I'm able to hit it without bouncing, which is much better for KO build-up and just DPS in general. It's not an absolute requirement that you're not bouncing off the chin or the head when using a hammer, but it definitely does limit your options. Look at that. He is one of 3 monsters, but still, that's crazy. Look at that. Must be an American kink to eat meat off the bone. Maybe. No, it's definitely done in many other countries. Certainly couldn't call it American. As far as frying it, well, I know the Koreans like doing that. Their diet consists of beer and fried chicken, so... South Korea, I should say. North Koreans don't eat. I mean, yes they do, but don't know what they eat. Probably not that. Probably not as much leisure food. Comfort food, whatever you want to call it. Vikings ate it raw? Well, I'm not a Viking. I've probably got a bit of Viking blood in me, but not that much. Oh yeah, Agnoktor. Thought I was doing a multi-Uragan quest for some reason. I need to get with the fucking program, as they say. I may as well drop a bomb. Maybe even 2 bombs, to be honest. Well. Could have had a square shape there, but I misplaced that bomb. Get out of there! What? I appreciate the attempt, Mark, but... Oh, that's alright. It's Tina's mistake for getting in there like that. What a silly decision. I mean, if the bombs haven't been destroyed, don't stand right next to them. Bomb me. I don't know, maybe he was engaging in self-harm. Hard to know. Can't see any other reason why he would have done that. I do love how big the Elatrion hammer becomes when you're at full charge. I mean, look at the size of it! Thank you, Uncle, for the 2 gift subs. Oh, well, that was like the first hit of my spinning combo with the hammer, which deals almost no damage. I apologize if I hit you there, Tabo. I did not, but yeah, I was definitely not on target with that. Again, I don't like hitting the head of the Agnaktor. It moves around a lot. It's pretty small. I mean, I'm sure I could work out how to do it fairly well, but... Ooh. I'm trying not to mess with Tabo too much. Wouldn't mind a bit of a KO at some point. See, how the hell... Tabo Show managed to get a spinning golf swing off, still no KO. Like, what the hell? I don't like this monster. Officially. That would have been a very clean KO. A bit of a joust, let's say. A double animation turnaround, or one that's divided up into 2 motions. Not as good for a hammer turnaround hit. You fucker. No KO, and he may even successfully limp out of the area. What a dick! Fuck this monster. I hate you. I think we all feel the same way about that, actually. Honestly. Volvidon's here. Well, I'm not interested. No. No. Don't let him see us. Let's just kill this Agnaktor and have it be done. Well, Tina might be going for the capture. Happy to do that. Or not. What's going on? Well, we can just do that. That's fine. Now the Azur Rathlo spawn point I should be able to get correct. One would hope. They're probably fighting the Volvidon. They can if they want, but I don't have much of a desire for that. He has full health. Still doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to last long, but I couldn't be bothered. Well, thank you for expressing your thanks for hours of entertainment. Oh, come on. You were killed by nothing. I'm telling you that, Mellings. I missed the Mellings. Mark then simply had to walk forward, and then somehow the monster... No, I'm not going to call a feline or a Mellings a monster. But the Mellings died. There was no actual attack that was dealt by Mark. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but... Anyway, oh, you're smelly. What's going on? Very poor sense of personal hygiene, clearly. Oh, that stupid animation. Well, those bombs are a ticking time bomb. Nasty timing for the bombs to go off during an opportunity that we could have to actually get in there and beat on the monster. With the right team coordination, this monster could already be dead, to be honest. And I completely failed my upswing in the worst way possible, and I'm now being chain struck. I mean, have you ever seen such an impossible to avoid triple combo? Come on. That's just ridiculous. Like a fireball into a charge into a fucking poison claw strike. Ridiculous. That's the sort of thing that you just can't avoid. Like, that's death. That's a guaranteed death if you're just gonna get attacked 3 times like that when there are 4 people engaging the monster. 4 people. That's just unfair. I'm not going to consume a max potion for that. It's not necessary. Someone's launching bounce bombs, I think. Yeah. Well, might get you knocked down. I think that might be a little more effective to get him out of the air. Okay. I don't know if that's a KO or if that's... No, there would be more stars over the head if that were a KO. That is a dead monster, though. Not much question about that. Good hunt, I suppose. Only an hour and 20 minutes in. Feels like it's been a lot longer than that. Feels like it's been 2 hours. Oh well. Overall, I'd say this is a good team, though. I think you can hear that motorbike, can't you? I left my my sliding door open in my bedroom, and that's actually allowing noise to filter through my whole apartment. And when someone rides a loud motorbike by, it will be audible. That's why they ride it, isn't it? So everyone knows they're coming. Shit, didn't mean to fucking put that away. I do need to sell some Azure Rathlo shards, though. I've now ranked up to 535. Very, very slowly crawling my way through the 500s. Oh yeah. I'm guessing I need scatterfish, do I? Yeah, I do. So I need scatterfish and... Oh no, I've got some here. Alright, I just need to combine for more bombs then. Yeah, let me go and deal with those materials that I have. Over one stack of... Hold on. So it was, I think, an Ugnaught or something or other. Hopefully that ended up here. It did not. I'll sort then. So, it was something from Ugnaught. Must be that. Yeah. Sell that. And the other was Azurathlos. Shards. Excellent. We're back at max Zenny. Which I don't really like to see, but anyway. Okay, so how are we going for large barrel bombs? I've only got 12. I'm going to go right ahead and spend some more money. This is actually going to be rather expensive. Oh no. 51,282. I mean, I guess that's a lot of money, but still. You're not going to spend that much in the early game, that's for sure. That's a lot. Now you get to enjoy this sound. I'll combine all of my barrel bomb larges, and then I'm going to buy another stack of them so that they are there for combinations during a... Do you people... I was hoping that the order had established itself now. Alright, so... Yeah, buying to box... Barrel bomb large. Cool. Now I can get more money. It's so pointless, isn't it? I just like to be able to get more money. But it means almost nothing because I don't actually need money at any point. Grudge match burial, I'm going to see if I have all weapons done for that. I do. What am I missing? I'm going to ask to do these two quests with him because these are the last ones I fucking need. It's just so much more efficient if neither of us have done it. It's a waste of my time if I'm doing something that I've done but he hasn't, but then I have things that I need to do that he hasn't done either. Sea power? Is he going backwards through the quests or something? You have all the arena. So why this? Well, alright. I just assumed that he was... I only have 2 arena uncompleted, which is those 2 that I mentioned. So, I mean, if he's happy to do Sea Power or Rust to Ambrose, then... I don't know, it's up to him. Probably not including the challenges. Definitely not including the challenges. I was assuming that... I don't know what unlocks from these ones. I don't know. I was imagining that maybe I'd be able to get the barrage earring from the grudge matches, but maybe you need all of it. I don't know. It's a lot of fucking work, though. It's absurd work. It takes a long time. Mark is saying Challenge 7 gives rare bird wyvern coins. Tavo's saying I'll help you anytime with those. Well, I don't have a desire to do them. This is the thing. Like, I don't want to do them, but if we're doing an arena quest anyway, I'd like to do something that I haven't done. I guess that's the logic of it. Because I have no desire to put the effort in to complete those because I don't think I'd get anything of worth out of it. Even in reference to the barrage earring, I don't think that I'm going to use that with any armor sets. I don't recall needing it for any armor set that I wanted to make in this particular game. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to make any new armor sets anytime soon, incorporating that headpiece. I don't want taunt. We'll go with fire attack +2. This looks fine to me. Oh god, I don't care about such rumors, A-Gaming. Remember, it was expected that Monster Hunter G would come out in remastered form on Steam. At this point, I just don't care. If it happens, it happens. But part of me would still prefer to play the original, you know. I don't trust Capcom with a Monster Hunter remaster, because they've never done one before, and I know how they treat the traditional hunters with contempt with their new games, so I don't really believe that they're going to do the right thing with a Monster Hunter remaster. I just don't believe it. I don't think they have a sense for the balance of what makes the old game special, because if they did, they wouldn't have shat on them in the way that they did. So, you know. I don't trust Capcom with that responsibility. Might be okay, but I'm not holding out hope. I've got no fucking positive expectations when it comes to anything to do with Capcom and Monster Hunter at this point. I don't know who's hosting this one. Actually, I know who's hosting this one. It's whoever enters the area first, and I can sense that Tavo entered the area first because he's the only person that I ever play with that has a connection this bad. Like, this is remarkably poor. The monster can't actually do a single animation without teleporting in some way, or skipping through the animation. It's really bad. May as well go for the wing here. The wing will never actually break during a trap, so you just have to judge whether or not you've done enough damage to break it. If you're concerned about putting damage into something that has already broken, in the event that your actual objective was to break it, and to do nothing else. Why did I roll into that? I actually did mean to roll to the side, but I certainly didn't, as you can tell. I swear Mark barely took a whit of damage from that particular attack. He got a... I mean, maybe I misunderstood what happened, but I'm pretty sure Mark got a side check from the monster and then lost like 10% of his health. Which doesn't sound quite right for an arena hunt, but whatever. I don't care what arena hunt it is. If it can accept 4 people, there's no challenge involved. 4 people, whether they've got basic armor sets or not, are going to shit on any monster. Doesn't matter. That's the best time for me, apparently. 244. Got 3 flying coins and an armor sphere plus out of that. Oh boy. Flying coins. We'll see if Yuli can join. The thing is, there's no guarantee that by the time Yuli sees that there's space to join, that he'll make it before someone else comes in. We'll see what happens. It's just kind of stupid, you know. I tell him there's space, he's in a hunt, by the time he returns from the hunt, it's full. And as you can imagine, if he needs to close his room just to find that my room is full, that really fucks up his circumstances. So it's not all that practical, unfortunately. Oh well. May or may not work. If he happens to not be in a hunt right now, and he sees that message, then he can come, but if he sees it minutes later, or can only act on that information minutes later, then that's not really helpful, is it? Feel the heat. Very well. Oh yeah, I said I was going to get a drink of water, but forgot to. I need it now because my throat is somewhat parched. What would be fun for this quest? I do have an awakened dragon hammer, so I'll bring that. That's not my awakened hammer set. This is my awakened hammer set. And we want the port's mark. Which gives me what? Gives me Partbreaker as well as everything else. What a nice set. This is the sort of set that you don't often see in this game. It's got a lot of points. I do like an opportunity to use the port's mark. Again, it became Water Awaken in 4 Ultimate. Which makes a lot more sense than Dragon. Makes me wonder why they went with Dragon in the first place if they agreed at some point down the line. Why is this Dragon element? Let's make it water. That makes more sense. It's kind of strange. But also very Capcom. They look at something they did in the past and they go, that didn't make any sense. Exactly. That's the point, Capcom. You never make any sense. And even when you try to start making sense, you do, like, you look at something you did in the past and go, that makes no sense, let's change that. And then you proceed to do things that make absolutely no fucking sense with the new things that you're implementing. So, I don't really get it. But anyway, that's Capcom. Organized chaos. I'll be back in a moment, just going to get some water. I'm back. Alright. Don't think I need anything else. We should be good to go. I'm actually going to wait for you, to be honest. And part of me also wants other people in this community to have a room to join, but this seems like an opportunity for Yuli to actually get into this room. Glad he made it. And he's actually using an appropriate weapon. Not sure why he's going full... I guess this is another example of skills over defense, which is interesting. That there are certain high-rank armor sets that and in the case of Tavo Show, the low rank armor sets that... Oh geez, he disconnected. Well, that's an unfortunate disconnect. Hopefully that's a one-off. Hello, Wonderlord. Welcome to the live stream. If you're wondering what Yurli's little status symbol there is, it basically means no keyboard. It looks slightly different to the icon from Try. Most of these icons are from Try, but the symbols, at least in the case, well, this one has been... What? Oh, maybe it's like a... I understand. There used to actually be a status icon in Monster Hunter Tri that said, I don't have a keyboard, and it looked similar to this. But what this actually is a cross mark over the top of a quest. Like a roll of paper, a scroll, that has a quest on it. There's a big X saying, I'm not doing quests, I'm here to chat. Which is interesting, but, yeah, okay. That's interesting, for sure. I don't know how it is in this game, but back in Monster Hunter Tri, you were able to actually upgrade low rank armor enough to where, like, you could actually use G rank armor spheres, not G rank, high rank armor spheres on low rank armor to bring the defense to an acceptable level for high rank. You may be able to do the same with high rank armor into G rank in this game. I don't know for sure because I've never tried it. I'm always, on principle, went for G rank armor for G rank, but yeah, there may be that option. I can't remember what they called it, but oh my god, look at that fucking tremor. Look at the distance! I don't know what they were thinking. Anyway. It is what it is. I'm glad Yurli made it in. I wouldn't have ordinarily traded Tavo Show for Yurli, because I wouldn't trade either of them, but if Tavo had to leave, then that's fine. Trying to get that golf swing off. That's the most important one. There we go, there's a broken chin, which will increase my damage. And Mark is disconnected. I don't know if this is Capcom's server having instability, or if this is somehow my host. If both Mark and Yuli are disconnecting off me, then I might have to blame my internet? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not great. I mean, we don't need him to complete this quest, but it's a shame that disconnects are happening. Do you hate Uragan's design, or like just visually, or do you not like him as a hunt either? I wouldn't say he's got a lame subspecies. If you're gonna say he's one of the worst subspecies in Monster Hunter, I'd say you'd have to, at that point, ignore the fact that Green Naga Cougar exists, Copper Blangonga, Lunastra. You know, monsters that are literally the same. Well, speaking in context of second gen, in reference to Lunastra, but you know, basically just reskins. At least Steel Uragan has a status associated with him that does not exist for standard Uragan. But monsters like Green Nagakuga... Ugh. I would even go so far as to say that Rust Duramboros is less of a change compared with Steel Uragan. Yeah, anyway. I suppose you could argue that it's not a good subspecies, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to make the argument that it's among the worst. Or, I suppose when you said lame, I guess you just mean underwhelming. And I would say no. There are subspecies that are far more underwhelming than Steel Uragan. I don't know. Of course there's a slight difference between regular Nagakuga and green, but it's not substantial at all. At all. There you go. I was hoping you'd stay still long enough for me to do that. I'm glad you're at least playing this game and not 3G. He's actually a 3G player, but started playing this game because not many people were playing 3G when Rise came out. But he informed me that more people are playing 3G again, so I'm glad that he's still playing this game, all things considered. There you go. That was a very fortunate knockdown there. Aiming for the head at the start really is just a KO attempt, or rather the purpose in aiming for the head at the start is to get the KO, but then once you have broken the face, or the chin, the head, whatever you want to say, it does actually become a proper weak point. And you can hit it as the hammer user with the assurance that it's dealing good damage, not just building up to a KO, but is actually hurting the monster a lot with each impact. I don't think 3G has a monthly subscription. I believe that was only the Japanese version of Try. I could not imagine, for the life of me, Capcom doing that for 3G as well. That would be insane. Because the monthly subscription of Try was a lot of the reason why that game just didn't work in Japan at all. People were already paying monthly subscriptions for Frontier, so people were not going to do the same for Try, which had far less content as compared with Frontier. So I don't think they would have done that a second time. That's ridiculous. Wonderlord, do you know if that's going to affect connectivity to servers like these? Or is that literally just the eShop that's affected? Because I don't know. I'm worried about that, but... yeah, I just hope that the Nintendo eShop is... or the closure of that eShop is localized specifically to the eShop and not somehow a closure of online connectivity for the Wii U and 3DS in general. I mean, I don't particularly care if you can't play online on the 3DS anymore, but that will affect a lot of people negatively, so I feel for them. But as far as the Wii U is concerned, I want this particular game to go on forever. I mean, it never will. It certainly won't go on forever. It has to close eventually. Can't just have endless support, but, you know, there are a lot of people who play this game, and I think it's nice of Capcom to have kept it open for this long, or kept it running. Do I think Monster Hunter Frontier is going to revive the old school Monster Hunter playstyle? No. Because Frontier is not the old school Monster Hunter playstyle. If it were, then perhaps, but it's not. I had many issues with Frontier in the past because of what it was. The only reason why I was at peace with Frontier and what it was, as of the 2011 update where things became ultra anime and just ridiculous, was because it wasn't mainline Monster Hunter. It existed in its own little separate universe, and it had no bearing on mainline Monster Hunter. I warmed to Frontier when I saw the direction Capcom decided to go in with 5th generation. I hoped that World was not going to effectively come to the Switch. I was hoping that Switch, or perhaps beta teams, imagining of 5th gen would be more along the lines of Frontier. And again, the only reason why I hoped that was because compared with what World had done, I much preferred Frontier by comparison. And I twice referenced the fact that there was a comparison involved. And I say that with such force because I did not like Ultra Anime Monster Hunter as it was represented in Frontier. But again, I really wanted that once I saw what was being done in World. And so, yeah, a question of whether Frontier is going to somehow bring about an interest in traditional Monster Hunter, I would say that it won't. What it could do is possibly... It wouldn't do anything. I mean, Capcom doesn't care about Frontier anymore. People playing Frontier on fan-made servers is not going to cause Capcom to revive Frontier. They may possibly try Frontier again, or something similar to it. But much of what Frontier was a very large game with a lot of content. And that was built up from 2007 to 2018. If they made a new game now, they'd be starting from scratch. And I don't know. Well, this is the thing, I mean, I am hesitant to refer to it as traditional Monster Hunter. It's probably more traditional Monster, technically speaking, than 5th gen, but still, I don't think that on its own would revive an interest in traditional Monster Hunter, because it does play very differently to, you know, guild style in Double Cross and 4 Ultimate and 3 Ultimate and 1st and 2nd gen. There are a lot of aspects to Frontier that obviously feel 2nd gen. It's because it's built on the DOS engine, but it's not DOS. It's really not. So, I don't know. I think that traditional Monster Hunter is gone. It's actually gone. And I don't anticipate a revival. I think the great minority of players, or rather I expect that people who play traditional Monster will remain in the great minority of Monster Hunter players. And Capcom will only do remasters to satisfy us. I don't think they're going to come out with anything new for us. And do you know why? It's because a remaster is probably the least effort that they could possibly go to at least acknowledge that we exist. And they're not going to do more than the bare minimum. At this stage, they haven't even done the bare minimum. We haven't received a remaster of an old Monster Hunter game. They probably think that there's absolutely no need to do that at all. You could technically say that they've achieved the bare minimum by supporting the servers of this game. I would agree that is the bare minimum, in the sense that their inaction can actually be called action. Their decision to not actively go and shut down the servers, but instead keep them running, again, they don't have to really do anything, they're just keeping them running. That's not an action, but it's still effectively a form of support for older players. I guess I appreciate that. But outside of that, there's just been nothing. Absolutely nothing. No acknowledgement of the traditional player base at all. There are a lot of people who do not want to play 5th gen. But there are almost infinitely more people who eat up 5th gen for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And will probably also continue to eat anything that Capcom shits out as long as it's got Monster Hunter in the name at this stage. What's going on? Who hosted that quest? Was it Tina? I don't fucking know anymore. Must have been Tina. Okay. So, what do I want to do then? Triple threat. Let's do triple threat. But yeah, no, when it comes to traditional Monster Hunter, I'm quite content to just keep playing the older games because I will forever enjoy them. And I did explain earlier on before you joined the livestream, Wonderlord, that I don't anticipate Capcom doing very well with remasters of Monster Hunter. They may. They might have a sense for what's appropriate as far as what to change and what not to change. But if they do it. But I'm not holding out hope because they haven't shown a sensitivity to what makes Monster Hunter special with 5th gen, so how am I to assume that they will be able to come out with a remaster that's worth a damn for any of the older games? I really don't know. Why would I try Sunbreak? I love the choice of words that you use. Try Sunbreak yet? Key word being yet. No. I would describe the fact that I've played Base Rise as a mistake. So no, I will not be playing Sunbreak. The only reason why I could say that it wasn't a mistake to play Rise was that I can say with greater conviction that it's a complete waste of digital space, because I've played it, and I know it to be true. But I do wish that I hadn't spent money on it, in a sense. I wish I hadn't spent the time to intimately familiarize myself with just how much of a train wreck it is as a video game and as an iteration in a series that once had dignity. But anyway. So, what's the common elemental weakness here? Probably fire. I'll bring a fire weapon. A fire greatsword that might be fun to use. I know what to bring. You can't stop me. This greatsword's probably about to file a restraining order on me, because I can't keep away from it. The Anima Reaper. It takes a lot of effort to make, so I'm going to use it when the opportunity arises. Triple threat. Arm wrestle for 5 mega juices, yeah, okay. Yurley always beats me here. I would have loved to have gone up against him with the ability that I had as a tri-player, but I'm actually going to have to try my best here. He's really good. I fucking beat him this time! Excellent. Now gimme. I like how Mark is just giving them out anyway. There's no round 2, of course. Anyway. Now that does put a smile on my face. Because Yurley's very good. Were you just given 5 mega juices just to give them to me anyway? Okay, sure. What the fuck? So you didn't actually need to part with any mega dash juice in the end at all. I'm quite disappointed by that. That's ridiculous. That's unfair. So basically what happened was Yurley said, if you beat me in an arm wrestle, I'll give you 5 mega dash juices. And then Mark just gives Yurley 5 mega dash juices. And then when I beat Yuli, those end up in my inventory. So Yuli did not have to part with anything in the end. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm on the edge of protesting. Anyway. I got my Mega Dash juices, so maybe I shouldn't be complaining. I'll just take it. Anyway. We've got 2 Morales Lancers. We've got the Serra Symmetry. It's about time someone used that bloody greatsword. And I've got... whatever I've got. Something fire-based. That's right, the Anima Reaper. I keep thinking, you know, if I haven't seen it for a while, I keep thinking that it's actually Dragon Awakened because it looks like a Dragon Greatsword, and it comes from a dragon monster, technically speaking. So... yeah. It looks like a dragon element reskin of the Pirate J sword. So I don't really know why they thought it should be fire, but whatever makes them happy, I guess. Thanks, Capcom, for doing things that don't make sense, as always. It makes more sense for this to be a dragon greatsword than it does for the Portsmark to be a water hammer. That's the way I look at it. Yes, Morales weapons look excellent. You're right. Mark is fishing out the monster. See, it's not a good idea to drop a pitfall trap. Or an even worse idea to drop that. Because you have to understand, there is a vulnerability period of the monster when he's flopping on the ground. Well, I don't even know what to say about that. But, anyway. Poor placement of bombs. The intention of Tina was to have the monster end up in a trap. But again, there's a vulnerability period. So, you're actually reducing the length of time that the monster will be vulnerable by doing that. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about it. I've ranted about it before. I've spoken my piece, and that's all. I don't really need to see the tower come back as a full location. Oh god, am I being... well, I was about to get comboed, but fortunately we got a knockdown. Bastard monster. So what are the monsters again? It's Ivory Lagiacruz. Yeah, okay, so that's why you wouldn't use Thunder for this quest. It's because Ivory's involved. Because I think... or is Green Nagakuga primarily weak to fire? I keep forgetting. I have a distinct feeling that Green Nagakuga is primarily weak to Thunder, much like the standard, but I've heard conflicting information. So I really don't know. And I really don't care. Fire is fine for all of these monsters, so we're in good stead to get this taken care of in short order. Yurli looks like a Diablos. Some sort of weird Diablos hybrid hunter. Diablo's sword and a Diablo's head. Do I think Green Plesioth is a good monster as a subspecies? No. Because, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think Standard Plesioth has sleep status as well. Could be wrong, but I seem to recall seeing Standard Plesioth flying above the hunter and putting the hunter to sleep as well, so yeah, I don't think Green Plesioth is a good subspecies at all. With that taken into consideration, and even if only Green Plesioth can put hunters to sleep, you barely see that. It almost never happens. So to be honest, no, I don't think he's a good subspecies, but to be honest, I don't really have a need for subspecies to be all that different. You know what I want out of a subspecies? I just want a different elemental weakness. I would like for the monster to have different moves, of course I would, but it's not a requirement. I think what's most important is that you're fighting a monster that you're familiar with, but you're not expected to bring the same element. But you see, green Plesioth and regular Plesioth have the same primary and primary and secondary weaknesses. Can't speak for tertiary. But that sort of thing is ridiculous. I should at least have to bring a different weapon when I'm fighting a subspecies. If it's the same weapon, then what's going on? I also consider Crimson Kurapeko, who is noticeably different, in a big way, to that of standard Kurapeko, but the same ice primary weakness. Why? To me, having a different elemental weakness should be the basic difference between a standard monster and its subspecies. You see that even with Rathalos in the older games. Standard Rathalos in the older games is primarily weak to ice. It was a water weakness before ice was an element. And then Azure was primarily weak to dragon. And then, lo and behold, Silver is primarily weak to thunder in the older games. I guess ice as well, but if we're looking at... I actually don't know what the primary weakness... How does thunder compare to water in first gen for Silver Rathalos? I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I'm thinking that... no, to be honest, it probably is a case of them not updating it for ice element in second gen, so it probably remains the same. I'd say first gen and second gen have equal elemental weaknesses for thunder and water in the case of Silver Rathalos. But anyway, the point is that that's Rathalos, and he's got different primary elemental weaknesses for each version of himself, whereas you've got these other monsters, like fucking Nagakuga, basically the same. Plesioth, basically the same. A good way to do a subspecies is, say, Baroth and Jade Baroth. No, they're both weak to fire. I give up. I absolutely give up. Ludroth, Purple Ludroth, both fire. I give up. Absolutely fucking don't care anymore. Anyway. I suppose it would be really misguided to suggest that there should be a different elemental weakness for these monsters, because there's very little example out there of that sort of thing. Subspecies seem to very often have the same elemental weakness, and maybe that makes sense, because at the end of the day, it's just it's not an entirely different monster, it's just a slight variation of what you're already fighting, so I don't know. I do believe that Ivory Lagiacrus spawns in Area 9 in this quest. I don't believe I'm wrong. So I'm going to head over that way. Well, apparently green Plesioth underwater in this game has a sweeping water beam, which standard Plesioth doesn't have. That I didn't know. Partially because I try not to hunt those monsters underwater in this game, but yeah. Well, that's interesting enough, I guess. I want to show you, and I've shown this before, but I want to showcase it again, how they actually fucked up the spawn of Ivory Lagiacrus in this game. So, there's a tunnel over there, right? You can sort of see light shining through it. Ivory Lagiacrus spawns in there. And he slowly walks out, and then jumps into this area here down below. Now, instead of jumping straight ahead, because, you know, it's a... What the fuck?! That's another way for him to spawn. What the fuck? I almost can't believe what I just witnessed. I mean, I've seen that before, technically, but... he usually spawns in there. What's going on? Anyway, fucking hell. I was trying to show something a little different, but I guess that's funny as well. Literally appears out of nowhere. Instant transmission from some unknown location. Fucking hell. No, he doesn't always spawn like that. I've seen Ivory... So what happens is... Maybe I'm thinking of Royal Ludroth. Maybe I'm thinking of Royal Ludroth, but I don't think I am. No, it is Royal Ludroth that I'm thinking of. Okay, so I guess Lagiacruz is too fucking big to fit in there. I was getting confused with Royal Ludroth. So basically, Royal Ludroth slowly walks out of there, but instead of jumping straight ahead, he actually jumps into a wall and passes through a wall to land about here in relation to that fucking tunnel. So I don't know why they do that. That was an interesting tail cut, literally during the charge of the monster. But yeah, seriously, it's just stupid. I don't know why they do that. That monster's already dead. How could it be that both... No, I'm sorry, but how could it be that fucking Green Nargacuga and Green Plesioth, individually, took so much longer to die than Ivory Lagiacruz? That's ridiculous. This monster's primary weakness is dragon, not fire. It does take decent damage from fire, but we're all running fire, except for Yuli. I don't understand how that was so much faster. I don't understand. Whatever, it's over and done with now. Far from substantial. Anyway, I'm going to finish things up. I don't really have anything more to do in the game right now. I've reached 2 hours for this live stream and I have things that I need to take care of today. So I'm going to take care of those things. You think Green Plesioth died faster than that? Didn't feel like it, but what I can say is that Green Nargacuga lasted way too long. Alright. Hunter rank 536. That is going to conclude this recording, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I'll try it again. Part 501 uploaded soon. This is part 502. 500? God. I might be Hunter rank 500, but I'm certainly not at part 500 in this series. I've got a while to go until we reach that point. 201 will be up soon. This is 202. I do thank you all for watching, and I bid you all farewell for now. Bye-bye.